Help me out here.
We're jamming.
We're jamming to a track.
To a track that we can't hear yet.
There is not a track here, but yeah, I can hear.
If there were.
Let's hope the BPMs are correct on our head bobs.
Well, good thing we're banging heads off time.
One of them will match.
Welcome back to the Help Me Out Here podcast. I think this is episode number 18.
18.
But I always get my episodes wrong. It's kind of a thing we do here.
Wrong stuff.
We do things incorrectly. Sitting here with me today is the man, the legend. Not really a myth. He's pretty real. His name is Kaden Burton.
That's me.
So Kaden is the bassist of my band, Groans, our band.
Oh, yeah.
We're equals.
Equality.
Equality is tranquilities. And sitting right next to the camera here is our big old Buford, Brady Mueller. He's the drummist of Groans. Earth Croutons. And so if you're seeing the video, we're in our van right now.
We are in our van.
Where are we at, Kaden?
We're in El Paso, Texas.
Uh-huh. And we just played kind of a weird show.
It was a weird one.
We just finished playing. How many people do you think were in the crowd?
Maybe 30.
That's being generous. That's being generous.
That's being very generous.
Yeah, so when we got into, when we were about to start playing, the crowd was, all sitting down. They were all just chilling with each other. Nobody was standing.
It just kind of felt like we were intruding on their dinner night. You know what I mean? Because they were sitting with, their beers and stuff, and
we play a sound check, and they're like, huh?
They're like, why is there music here?
There's a lot of ruckus in here. I'm trying to have a date.
Yeah.
We ruined a lot of evenings.
I paid to get in, but I don't even know why I'm here.
Yeah, they paid. That always, is weird to me when they feel like it looks like they're not enjoying their time.
Yeah.
Why did you pay? Why did you come?
Just go home.
Just maybe go home.
Just leave. Just kidding. Please stay.
We need all this.
Please invite your friends.
Please buy merch. Buy that merch, please.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we're in El Paso, Texas, and the venue we played. What's it called? Brady, producer Brady, do you know?
Rock House.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there wasn't much rocking for us tonight.
A lot of housing.
It felt like we were in a house trying to rock
in somebody else's house that didn't want us.
We've
there.
never met them.
We just walked in and said, we're going to rock this house. And they're like,
get out of my house.
Yeah, get out my house.
Consider leaving. And yeah, but I think it still turned out pretty fun. I feel like we played well.
All jokes aside, there was a few people that were definitely having a great time.
Yeah.
And so, that's always nice.
Did you see that one guy doing the duck walk in the mosh pit?
No. Was it the one in the Kill Switch Engage shirt?
I think so.
Blonde hair.
So he was all the way down, squatted on his knees, but kicking his legs out really far. It was actually impressive. I was just laughing.
I just closed my eyes for 24 minutes.
Don't let me see this. But yeah, we've been on tour for a little over a week at this point. Mm-hmm. We're getting close to the 2-week mark.
Yep.
And it's been good. The weather's been really nice.
Yeah,
which makes touring so much better because we're sleeping in the van so much. And
it's like camping.
It is. It's like camping in other people's houses when they don't want you there, and then sleeping in
intrusive camping.
We're intrusive campers at the end of the day, really. Dude, my beard keeps getting caught in my microphone.
Does it hurt? Does it
yes. Give me a little Yankerton.
Oh.
Bobbing my head over here, shaking his legs.
What do you mean?
Yeah. So we're just chilling in our new van. Do you want to tell them about our new van?
Okay, so our Sue van, our new van is named Sue, short for tsunami.
We are so dumb.
We're intelligent, I swear.
We're the worst.
We like to name things because,
yeah, we obsessively name.
I don't know why we do it, but it just makes sense.
Did you name your guitar? Your bass?
Damn it.
Mine's Leslie. From Parks and Rec.
We'll wait for a natural name to. I don't want to force a name on my beautiful
Natural
bass.
Natalie. Sorry.
Nectarine.
We'll wait.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nectarine. Nectarami. But
Yeah, Sue. We're talking about a van now.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool. It's new to us.
I got to fart.
It's kind of like our let it rip,
Here,
buddy.
you keep talking. I'll open this door real quick.
Okay. So it's new to us. It's definitely not a new van, but it has significantly less miles than our old one. So we'll hope it'll last many years of touring heavily. It's basically
I got my fart
like
out.
this. I'm so proud of you. It's like the same dimensions as our old van Quake, so it's not like a huge adjustment.
Quakes.
Quakes.
We suck.
Like earthquakes because our name is Earth Groans. Okay.
You're hogging my spotlight. We're so close.
Like brothers.
We're like bros. It is really hot
here.
We have the windows sealed off because it's kind of loud outside.
We are at a concert.
Yeah. We have these nice rope lights
Mm-hmm.
to add to the romance. So if you're just listening on iTunes or something, Spotify's, you should go on YouTube and find our van. Check it out.
Yeah, it's romantic.
We got a romance van for mans only.
Romance man band.
Roman van. One of the cool parts I think about being on tour is we do a lot of late night driving to get to the next city. We've had like a 10-hour drive on this tour.
Mm-hmm.
We've had some hefty ones. And one of the cool parts is, I don't know, one of my favorite parts is having cool conversations
Mm-hmm.
on tour when it's the only way to stay awake long enough is to just keep talking to each other to keep your brain activated.
Yeah, yeah. We wouldn't have done that.
And we did that the other night because, so Brady and Jeremy slept,
Mm-hmm.
and we drove, till 6 or 7 a.m.?
Yeah, 6 a.m.
I don't even remember what city we were going to.
That's when we were going to
Was it Dallas?
where we were at yesterday, which was Albuquerque.
Oh, yeah.
It took me a while to think, so I used other words.
You just, when you can't remember, you just slow down.
Slowly talking
So you
to
can-
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. But, so Kaden and I took the long haul, the overnighter,
Mm-hmm.
and we always end up talking about faith, religion stuff, and space, and science.
Yes.
Those realms.
Yeah, always.
And so I kind of wanted to reopen that box of worms,
Yeah.
because worms are stored in boxes
Not cans.
in 2019.
Yep.
So we're going to reopen that box of worms, I think, and because I feel like you have a really crazy history. We both have weird histories with our faith.
Yeah, I didn't really realize how different it was. I mean, like, I knew that it was a pretty different, like, upbringing faith-wise, but when I really started talking, like, the other night about some of the weird stuff I was raised doing, I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, probably when you hear it compared to a different lifestyle.
Yeah, because I was
Probably
raised
whack.
that way. It was my whole life, you know?
Yeah.
So it didn't seem weird.
Let's just tell us a little bit, as much as you want, about your faith background.
Cool. I was born in Salt Lake City, which is like the Mormon capital of the world, so I was definitely Mormon. I was raised that way, so I didn't think anything of it. If you don't know much about Mormonism, it's not super different than Christianity. It has some parallels and some pretty wacky stuff in it.
So does Christianity.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of organized religions have some interesting things about them, but yeah, it's really conservative and pretty exclusive. So some people like to use like a cult type word. That's a pretty harsh word, so I'm going to stay away from it, but yeah, it's very exclusive. Very judgmental unintentionally.
Yeah.
Like with good intentions, and then bad stuff comes out of it. It was an interesting way to like grow up.
Yeah. It was really interesting to me, all the parallels we talked about between Christianity and Mormonism.
Yeah.
Because as a kid growing up in a Christian household, somebody's screaming so loud outside.
Very loud screaming. They're playing video games next to us.
Yeah, the O Sleeper guys.
Mhm.
But growing up in a Christian household, I pretty much felt like I was taught, not necessarily by my parents, but just being in that world, that like every other faith or religion is wrong.
Yeah.
So when I heard that ours is so similar and includes so many of the same stories,
Mhm.
I was like, oh, there's a lot of false judgment here
Yeah.
that the world doesn't need.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty naive to think like I am right. Everyone else is wrong. End of story. I don't want to hear about it. Like, because that's what a lot of religious people are like, and especially with the religion or faith culture that that they were born into, and like they'll just defend that and be like, yeah, this is right because this is what I was raised in, which totally makes sense, according to like how your brain works.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way you were raised thinking. It doesn't seem abnormal or different. So I don't really blame people for having that like, I'm right, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But it's healthy to like kind of step out of that and look into what else is out there.
Yeah. So before we go into like what you looked to later
Mhm.
on in life,
Yeah.
what do you think when you think back now to being young and involved in Mormonism?
Yeah.
What is some of the craziest stuff to you, or some of the weirdest, or maybe even like most painful experiences?
The most painful definitely was expressing myself. They're very particular about appearance, especially according to gender. So there's like these rules, like women can only have one piercing, and they're only allowed to have ears pierced, and just one of the. It's not like you're gonna like get kicked out or anything. It's just like this, like you
That's
really
kind of the
should.
standard.
And then that's where the judgment comes in, because it's like, okay, like we're not gonna really stop you from doing this, but we're definitely gonna look down on you if you go against these rules. And it's not a fun way to be in like an adolescent, but like, yeah, very gender specific, gender role based appearances. So like men should have short hair and dress nice and not have any piercings, any facial piercings, tattoos, no go, like all these things that I definitely wanted, like going into adolescence. And so I had very strict rules enforced by my parents. Like I couldn't have my hair past my ears. And so I had to cut it right there, right on the line, and it looked real dumb, but that was as long as I was like, I wanted to just get as long as I could because I wanted to have long hair so bad. I thought it was cool since I was like 10.
Did you look like Coconut from Ned's Declassified?
It wasn't that bad, but pretty similar. It
All
wasn't
straight
a bowl
over?
cut. No, there were layers.
Coconuts have layers too, Kaden.
Dang it. But yeah, it was hard because I couldn't express myself the way that I wanted to, and I didn't understand why I wasn't allowed to.
Yeah.
I was like, that's dumb. From a very young age, I was
So
like,
you
this
started
is
questioning
stupid.
even at a young age.
Yeah, I was like, why do I have to have short hair if I'm a guy? Why do girls have to have long hair if they're a girl? Like, why do I have to dress respectfully and not look like a metal person, which is what I was like leaning into right into adolescence. Yeah, it was very painful because I definitely like got judged and weird stares and side eyes and glares from like moms when I would hang out with their kids, and like I was a bad influence, like I was gonna lead their kids away from the church because I was like I was the rebellious Mormon, and it sucked.
Yeah, that's strange.
It honestly sucked.
And it doesn't. I feel like even seeing pictures of you as a young kid, it didn't look like you were a wild, rebellious guy.
No, but in that
world?
culture, yeah, I was nuts, dude. Like, wow,
Coconuts, bro.
I was coconut haircut.
Coconut haircut.
Oh man, yeah.
Oh, be blessed.
Yes.
Oh, that's a blessing, brother.
Blessings.
That's wild. I want to tell a little bit about my past
Let's hear
church life.
Let's do it.
So, from age about 0 to sophomore in high school,
Okay.
in that range, I went to this, I think it was technically a non-denominational church, but it was very highly Pentecostal.
Yeah.
And that's very, like, outward expression of faith, very, like, yeah, just so expressive and loud almost.
Yeah. Like, I am filled with the Spirit, I'm going to flop like a fish on the ground.
Yeah, lots of flip-flosh and fish flippings.
Didda-ba-dooba-dees.
Yeah, lots
That
of
one.
dooba-dooba-dees in the churchy.
Yeah.
But, dude, they're being so loud outside. They're literally shaking their van. God bless
I
them.
remember my first Mario Kart game.
You could go in there and own them all, I bet.
Oh, yeah, brother.
Oh, yeah, brother. But in this church, basically, so one of the things that I felt was forced on me was speaking in tongues. Have you ever, like, heard about that before we talked about it the other night? Really?
So, like we said, there were a decent amount of parallels between our faiths. So I had heard the term, like, speaking in tongues, especially when we would, like, study the Bible, because we would, even in Mormonism, we would, like, study the Bible, like, nitpickily. So, but it was never really practiced ever.
Brady's laughing at nitpickly. You thought of a pickle right away, huh? Oh yeah, big old deal. The pickle song.
The pickle song.
So
but
you
yeah,
knew of the term.
I knew of it. Never really seen it. Didn't really know people did it.
Yeah. And in my my upbringing in the church, it was so widely accepted and done.
Yeah.
Where it was just completely normal to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't happen until later in life. What's up, buddy?
I'll do it.
We're shooting a podcast right now.
Yo! What it is?
Good thing I have limiters on these audio
Man,
preamps.
y'all can't handle my click? Fine.
Lock that door so we can't come
That
in.
just made our podcast so much more. Hey, you get out of here, boys. These little sleeper boys are wild. If you're watching the video right now, you're seeing our van literally shake back and forth. Here, I'm going to let you guys get a quick audio clip of this. Right as they we both stick our microphones out the window and they stop.
That was comedic timing.
That was amazing.
We're in a sitcom.
All right, boys, let's all speak in tongues.
Skibbity abity 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 boo.
Okay, first of all, I want to say this podcast in no way, I'm not trying to crap on any belief system. We should probably establish that.
So I respect anybody in what they believe, no matter what, as long as they're treating other humans with respect.
Yeah.
Believe what you want to believe.
Yeah, and I
But
feel
I'm
like
just
there's a
gonna
lot
talk
of good
about-
in both
Yeah.
of these. So this is just our personal experiences.
Yeah.
And we have humor, so we like
Mhm.
to express.
I like jokes.
Yeah, most people probably already know that. Gosh, we got roamers around this van.
Dude, we got vultures.
I feel like we're on a little kayak in an ocean, and there's just hungry sharks around us.
Sharks
And
and
those sleeper
piranhas.
sharks are big sharks.
Oh,
great whites.
Great whites.
Great white boys.
Great white. Oh, sleeper boys, sharks.
Oh yeah, they're wild. Okay, I think we're clear for now. We just can't spill any blood in the water.
Oh yeah.
So growing up in this tongue speakage.
Do you know what they're doing? What are they
they
doing?
doing?
Are circling the bait.
Bro.
Oh.
And if you know our song, Allure, it includes that lyric.
Absolutely.
So let's just ignore them now.
Yeah.
So I went to this tongue speaking church. It was
Yep.
very normal. And so basically I never spoke in tongues naturally because that's what I grew to believe that it was.
Mhm.
Because in the Bible, the first event of that was a very natural thing according to that scripture. God kind of gifted them with that. And it was for a very intentional purpose where they were speaking to people who already spoke in other languages.
Yeah.
So they were communicating with those people.
Yeah.
It wasn't gibberish or
It was
anything.
necessary communication,
So
according to
I could
that story.
Yeah, so I could never wrap my head around it when all of us in this church were English speakers and some people were just chatting in other sounds and languages. It was so weird to me. I was like,
so
who
wild.
were you talking to? So basically it came to this point where I was in high school and our youth leader had all of the youth in a circle. It was
Yeah.
probably just like 5 or 6 of us, and basically said, all right, we're going to speak in tongues. And basically, I don't want to say forced because he was a great guy and meant well, but kind of just pushed us into that.
Well, what were you gonna do? Not and be like judged and looked at by all
Yeah.
the other 5 other people or 4 other people that
Right.
were there? Like
So
you
all
were,
of us-
you were like socially forced into doing that.
Yeah, for sure. You're right. And it was just, I felt so much tension in my gut in that moment. Because
Yeah.
I'm a person, I mean, you guys know this. I'm the type of person where, first of all, I don't like being told what to do. And I'll naturally push against being told what to do. Yeah, you guys. But anyway.
You don't say.
So that was like a very weird defining moment for me. And maybe that was part of the reason why I'm like that. I don't know.
Hey.
Because of that. Maybe that's a little scar in me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so that was just, that left a really bad taste in my mouth. Left the church shortly after that, went to college.
Yep.
But then it was the exact same thing in college for 4 years.
Oh my goodness.
And luckily I had really awesome friends in college who helped me navigate that, and I also found other people that were like, what is this?
Yeah.
Why is this happening? So I could relate with somebody
That's
in college.
That's healthy. That's good.
But that's my background.
Yeah.
Just a very small snippet. Grew up in a Christian world.
Yeah.
It's cool to hear our different worlds, I think.
Yeah, they're very different.
Mm-hmm. And so how old, if you can remember, were you when you decided maybe this isn't for me, I'm going to go discover something?
So the This Isn't For Me and the Go Discover were two separate.
Okay.
So the This Isn't For Me, like, I was forced to go to church every Sunday. Not like forced, but kind of like how you're forced to go to school, you know? Like, I got to go every Sunday. And so my parents enforced that up until I was an adult. So when I turned 18, they stopped, like, making me go. And so if I wanted to, I could be like, hey, I'm going to church with you guys today. And if I didn't, I didn't. And so I completely stopped. Just like right then and there. I was like, I just didn't really care. So there was probably like a year or two before that when I was like, this isn't for me, because it was clearly in my head before I turned 18, because like right as I turned 18, it wasn't like, hey, you have to go to church every Sunday. I stopped going. And then I didn't really think about what I believed. I guess I just didn't really care that much.
Yeah.
Until like 2 years ago.
That's so cool. It's cool that we got to be with you
Yeah.
while you made that switch, because I feel like you're a drastically different person, like physically, emotionally, spiritually,
Everything.
from
yeah.
day one of Earth Groans
Oh, yeah.
to, what is it, 3 years with us now?
Mm-hmm.
Crazy different and so much healthier, it seems.
I would agree.
So that's cool that you knew from a younger age it wasn't for you, and then you kind of slowly came away from that.
Yeah.
And this, I hope also we're not trying to make your parents look bad, because your parents are awesome.
I love my parents so much, and my mom is the most important person in my life. Absolutely.
Angel.
Yeah, there's no hard feelings towards my parents. They were 100% doing what they thought was right. And they always have, and they always will. Yeah.
And what else can they do? I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
they're
like
people
they-
just like us.
They did nothing wrong.
I love that. And that's good that you don't have bitterness,
Mm.
because that could have created something really, really negative
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
spiraled you.
Mm-hmm. It could have like driven a wedge between like me and my family. Totally.
Yeah. So let's talk about you in the past 3 years on tour,
Mhm.
and obviously your life in between that too. Where has your faith gone in those years, and where did you end up? Where are you now?
So when I first joined the band, it was in that stage of.
Oh gosh, hold on, it's Shane. What's up?
I just need some water.
Shane's just getting some water.
He's thirsty.
You actually made this podcast pretty interesting with all your antics. Do you want to leave a message for the world that doesn't have vulgar in it?
Oh, yeah. Listen, love your moms.
We were just talking about his mom.
I love my mom.
Yeah, I love my mom, too. She's a bitch, but she raised me right. And fuck all the dads.
Thank you, brother.
What's your profanity?
I shouldn't have said not vulgar. That totally inspired him to be
Yep.
vulgar.
He's not like you like that at
He's
all.
amazing. I love him. I really like the Sleeper guys.
Absolutely.
They're so cool. Bunch
So
of big turds. Yeah, but
3 years ago.
yes.
When I first joined the band, I was in that stage of I hadn't really thought about what I believed in. I hadn't made any decisions of what I did or didn't believe. So like when I first messaged Jeremy, I was like, "Yo, can I play bass for you and stuff?" He was like, "Yeah. First things first. Are you a Christian?" It's like,
He said that?
"Yeah." That was the first thing he said.
Oh,
he was,
funny.
He said this isn't make or break, but I'm curious. Are you a Christian? I was like,
Oh, okay.
"Yeah."
Why is that so? Yeah.
I mean,
Oh.
I could be.
I am
If you
for
need
now.
me to, yeah. I
If you need me.
I was in a position where I was not going to be turning down a musical opportunity,
Yeah.
and so I would have been whatever I needed to start touring, like legit.
Respect.
So I didn't. I was like, I didn't really think about what I believe in, but if I gotta do this God thing to do some touring, like let's do it.
Oh Jesus, come on here.
Yeah. But I didn't really think about it. I just kind of like followed along what you guys did for like the first like 6 months of touring, just kind of like playing my part. You know, being a band member, being a Christian band member, whatever.
We did like devotionals.
Oh my gosh,
Prayers.
yeah, lots of prayers and devotionals and like talks and like podcasts and like let's talk about
Sermon.
like let's get together and talk about our sexual purity, like stuff that made me want to like, oh man. I get uncomfortable with talking like that with anybody.
I get that.
So like if people want to talk about that and discuss and follow a standard like that, like that's totally all for them. But no matter what stage of my life that I was in, I was always like really uncomfortable with group conversations like that. And then there was one day we were in Louisville, Kentucky, and this guy named Austin was like, "Hey, you should listen to the Liturgist podcast." I was like, "Okay." And so I listened to the Liturgist podcast, and that completely guided my deconstruction of like organized religion and Christianity and what I believed in a very like nice and slow, gradual way, where I learned a lot about how to like think for myself, how to find what I want to believe in, and yeah, it was like one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
It just, yeah.
Do you remember that night when it was us talking to him? Do you remember that? But we were in Indiana that night. We were outside the Hoosier Dome.
Okay.
We just played with his band Barricades. And
okay, no, that was it. We weren't in Lowville. No, that's what I'm referencing.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if you guys had talked prior.
Yeah.
But we were in Indianapolis, Hoosier Dome, on the sidewalk.
Awesome venue.
And I remember we kind of stumbled into a conversation he was having with someone. And so it was Austin. Austin is the person who told us about the Liturgist.
Yeah.
And this other guy, him and Austin were saying, he was telling Austin, basically, I don't think, I'm a Christian, but I don't believe the Bible's real at all.
Oh, that exact phrase, I was like, bruh, what?
Like, what's going on?
I was like,
here?
where did you get that from? You know, I was like, I want to know more. Like, what's your secret?
Yeah, I remember me and you were just standing there like with our eyes open, like wide. We didn't say anything.
Hello?
Because I didn't know at that moment. I was in a very basic, traditional Christian, like American Christian style of faith. So I had nothing to say to anything they were saying.
Yeah.
Like these deconstruction and like talking about racism in the church, all these I don't know how to say it. Something against gender. What's the word when you're mean to people of different sexualities? Discrimination.
There you go.
Discrimination against different genders and sexual orientations and stuff. I was just blown away by all of it. And then, he told us about the Liturgist podcast. And didn't we start it that night or the next day?
I don't remember exactly when we started it, but I usually don't like follow up with people when they recommend me things, but this one like stuck in my head. I was like, I actually genuinely want to check this out. And we did it at some point, and it was awesome.
We started, anytime anybody talks to me about struggling with belief or wherever they're at in life, I always recommend go listen to the Liturgist podcast and start with, what's that episode we started with? Lost and Found.
Yes, Lost and Found Part 1 and 2.
Yes.
That's just where you should start if you're going to watch or listen to the Liturgist podcast.
It's way too much to get into now, but
everybody
listening should go listen to that.
Yeah, if
it's
this
incredible.
interests you at all, it's a good move.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened with you after that, and I want to hear more about that, but for me, it just completely flipped everything upside down.
Yep.
And I just went to the point where I was like, is God real? What is Jesus? What is the Bible? Where does all this come from? Because I never questioned it.
Yeah, well,
I just accepted everything.
Why? You didn't really have a reason to. You know, you grew up with that. Like, that's totally normal.
Yeah. So it was so wild.
Yeah.
What did it do after you started listening to it?
I was like, oh, this clicks with me. It wasn't like, it didn't feel abnormal. It felt natural. What felt abnormal was pretending to be what I wasn't. And then when they were like, hey, we believe in this, and there's too much to explain of how but when they deconstructed me, I was like, this feels good, and this feels like I'm becoming a better person with each new thought process I'm like putting into my everyday life. It just felt natural and good.
That's so crazy. What's up? You need some water? You can take the case if you want.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
Have fun, boys.
Sorry, guys.
No, don't be sorry.
How do you guys feel about Nickelback?
I love Nickelback.
Good
and that's
band.
O Sleeper round 3. That's so cool though, and I feel like where the band is now, all of us like faith-wise, so much different than when you first joined the band.
Yeah.
So do you feel more comfortable now?
Yeah.
Okay. There's one specific memory I have in my head where I don't remember where we were, but
I'm excited.
we were having a group devotion
Yeah.
in the van, and I could tell you were just so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I try to be very aware of like other people's feelings and stuff.
Yeah, you're pretty good at that.
And I can tell you were just like wanted to be out of this freaking
I wanted to run
van.
away.
Yeah, and so I think after that I talked to you and I was like, "Hey, are you feeling uncomfortable?" And you were like, "Yes."
That was the Hartford Hartford show on the My
Connecticut.
Children, My Bride tour.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
That was
what
wild.
was going through your head?
Oh man, like I said before, I'm not great with the group discussion thing, and I just didn't agree with a lot of the things that were being said in the devotions. Sometimes I just think that it's kind of like a horoscope, and it's just kind of like vague. And some people get stuff out of that, and like are like, oh my gosh, this inspired me today, you know, like, and that's so awesome. But it just like wasn't clicking with me, and I was like, this isn't the way. I'm not getting anything out of this, and
Yeah.
I feel like I'm forced to be here, which makes me not want to be here.
Mhm.
And so it's like, I'm not enjoying this. Other people clearly are, and I don't want to rain on that parade because I want to respect anybody where they're at. But I just didn't want to be there. I didn't want to participate.
Yeah. I'm glad that we ended up having a conversation, because after that,
Yeah.
basically we had a band meeting and we're like, not all of us, because I was kind of where you were at.
Yeah.
And I need to, when I do a podcast with you, Brady, I want to hear more about where you're at.
Yeah.
But after that felt really good, because it felt like we had more individual freedom, because like Jeremy can do his devotions
Yeah.
and stuff, and we can do whatever we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And if we want to do something together, we can just say, hey, this is what I'm doing right now. If you want to join me, join me.
Yes.
And that's so much more of an open space, and it's inviting, because you don't have, you're like you said, you're not being forced to sit there.
Mm-hmm.
So that way nobody's parade's being rained on,
Yeah.
and we can still have group stuff.
Yeah, because I just didn't want to disrespect. Yeah, because other people in the band, I could tell, like, loved these and got something out of it, and like made their day better and gave them something to like mentally chew on. Like, that's so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Not for me.
Yeah, I mean, we all like to chew on different food.
Yeah.
And maybe, I don't know, after I started listening to the liturgist, it's so dense and stretched my mind and my faith so much that
Mhm.
trying to go back to a basic, I don't want to talk crap on anything, but going back to a very organized devotional was really difficult,
Yeah.
because it wasn't really talking about societal, cultural life issues that made me want to feel God in a way where I can love other people.
Mm-hmm.
It was more of like, don't do this, do this.
Surface level.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there's devotionals out there that are great.
100%.
But
But when you write a book that a lot of people can get stuff out of, it can't get like that specific, you know.
Yeah.
So I get it.
that's what I love about podcasting,
Oh yeah.
is it's long form. You can't really hide. You
Mhm.
can really attack little details, little situations.
Yeah, you can get right in a niche.
That's so cool. Well, thanks for sharing where you're at right now.
Yeah.
Before we go, Avengers Endgame.
Oh yeah.
10 days. How are you feeling?
It doesn't even feel real. No, you know what I mean? Like no, the movie is made, it's completed. It's
just
out
sitting.
there,
It's waiting.
and I feel like I'm never going to get it. But there is a date. Like, we have our tickets picked out.
We bought 'em
our
day of.
seats picked out.
Seats.
The time, the day, 11 a.m. on the 26th in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes.
We're going to finally like it's been like a decade of like, where are they going with this? And then it's like, this is it.
Okay, give me a few. I'm so freaking hyped. I want to hear just a few of your predictions, so that when we do another podcast, we can talk about whether we were right or wrong.
We can compare. Oh my gosh, I don't know how I feel about Thanos right now and like what he's trying to do. It's such this gray area like objective that he has, and it's like I'm on the fence. I'm just kind of want to see what happens. I'm not like, yes, unsnap immediately, because it's like, well, what if he was right? What if everybody's better off with like a little bit less people around? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that sounds
He's
horrible.
a gray area
but
villain.
Yeah, it's a gray area villain, and that's what I like about these movies. It's making me think about, what do I think is right in this universe?
It's fun.
And
It's fun to dissect.
so like there's a part of me that thinks that like there's going to be some undoing of what was done. Hopefully not all of it, because that would take away the weight of Infinity War, like
Yeah.
completely. That would just be like, why make that
Yeah, it would totally ruin the weight. I think the Russo brothers are so smart that they will, whatever they do in this movie won't eliminate the impact of Infinity
Yeah.
War.
I want there to
they're
be
too smart for
bloodshed.
that.
Like this is the end game, not happy ever after. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
It
Like,
can't be
like,
all roses.
Like, I want to cry. Like,
Yes.
I want to cry. I want to feel torn and relieved, and like I want to feel something. Dang it!
I love that we're getting that from a Marvel movie. The Russos are freaking geniuses. Okay, quick predictions. I think if the snap is undone,
Mm-hmm.
Tony Stark will do it.
Hopefully.
And I believe Captain America, as Steve Rogers, will die. And I think that probably either Bucky, the Winter Soldier,
Yep.
or what's the fly guy flying around, big wings, mechanical, Sam. He hangs out with Captain America. He's got big old wings.
War Machine?
No.
Gosh dang it!
No, the guy with the frick. He's got machine guns and wings. Falcon. I was gonna say Vulture. No, I think either Falcon or Winter Soldier will become Captain America.
Interesting.
I think they'll pass the character.
So that's why you specified Steve Rogers
Yes.
will die, and there will be another captain.
In my opinion, I really, really want more of Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
Because I feel like since the Russos took over his character in the Winter Soldier, he has so much more to open up with. Like so many more avenues to I feel like his character can continue arcing. I don't think it has to end here. It could, but I think they could keep going. But I think he'll die.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any evidence to agree or disagree, but I've heard a lot of people also have that opinion. So it's like, okay, if he dies, he dies. You know,
Yeah.
I trust what they do. So like, whoever dies, I agree with their decision, and whoever lives, yeah,
Let him live.
Let him live.
Let live, baby. Thank you guys so much for watching this beautiful little podcast, hopefully,
Oh yeah.
called Help Me Out Here with one of my best human friends, Kaden Burton, bassist of Earth Goons. Love you all so much. Kaden, do you have any last words? Anything?
Love your mothers.
And we'll leave it at that. See y'all later. Cheers.
Goodbye.
Brady, anything?
My back hurts so bad from sitting like this, and I don't want to be on it.